Hey everyone, I'm Tatiana. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to show you how I use my Neocolor 2 by Caran D'Ache. These are wax pastels that are water soluble, and they are a lot of fun to use because you can use them just as pastels directly on the paper, and then you can add some water to them using a brush and dilute them, and they can make really nice effects. They're just a lot of fun to use, they're very interesting, and the results are always different. So I hope you'll join me in today's session. So get yourself something to drink, make yourself comfortable, and let's roll the video. But before we begin, please remember to hit the like button and even consider subscribing if you like these kinds of videos. Thank you so much. I am using a picture of my cat Chibi as a reference. I managed to snap this picture one morning when she was sleeping next to me, and she just looks adorable, doesn't she? Okay, so here's the initial sketch for the drawing. I hope it's not going to look too wonky. I think it's okay. Like for now, what I'm seeing seems to be okay. If not, it's fine, you know? It's not like we're sending this to MoMA or anything like that. Okay, so, and also her posture is a bit special because she's on her backside and she's sleeping and being all cute. So I was thinking of maybe doing mixed media for this one. So I'm not sure about watercolors, maybe gouache. Definitely, I think my Neocolors. I've really been wanting to paint with them this week. I've even organized them by color and everything so that they could all fit in their box. Here's my lovely box. I've had this since last year. There's 40 colors. These are not the original ones that come with the box. I bought some extras, and I was this week doing the swatches, and then selecting as well which ones would come in the box and which ones would be out. So I have a list here that I made for the ones that will be that I'm not going to be using here because they're quite similar to others that I have here, or they are colors that I rarely use, you know, like carmine, for instance. I don't think I've ever used it. When I was doing the swatches, that's when I used it. And it's quite similar also to the scarlet, I find. I also didn't want to let go of any of my blues. As you can see, these are the ones, the main ones, the ones that are like more prominent in my palette. But you know me, I'm a blue girly. I love it. I think I want to do the background first, and then I'm going to do the cat itself. The reference picture that I took, which I'm going to be sharing now on the screen, as you can see, it's just the bed sheet, and then the background is sort of gray-white because it's the wall, and then you have her face is black with a little white here and a bit of white here as well, and here, and then her belly is also white. So there's not much going on here on the background. I now need to decide what to do about it. So, and the reason I'm filming this is so that you get an idea of what it's like when you're creating a painting. So you saw the time lapse earlier of me doing the sketch. Thankfully, it didn't take too much. I don't know why. Maybe my hand was okay today. So other times it takes me much longer to do. And now I need to decide what to do with the colors. So I'm going to speed you up again so that we can get everything in one go, and that way the video won't be too long. Okay, see you in a bit. Here you can see me trying out a few color combinations. I am going for contrast as well as complementation. I also need to see how the colors will look when they are dissolved with the water, as this can affect their intensity. I do a very rough composition, taking into account the background, the bedsheet and the cat. This is how I find which combinations will work best. Once I find something I like, I write down the colors I use for later reference. I decided to go with that purple mix for the bedsheet and the bright yellow for the background. I start layering on the background using various colors, because I don't want to have a yellow block of wall. This process is a lot of fun because it allows a lot of play. I start trying the tricks I usually do when I'm using Neocolors, such as pressing hard when applying the paint, using my fingers to blend them, or using a lot of water, but I'm noticing that the paper isn't cooperating with me. So I decide to dissolve the colors and mix them on a ceramic dish with some water and just use them as watercolors. This is also another way that you can use wax pastels, but it's not my favorite one because I find it harder to get the color intensity that I want. Or maybe I'm just not doing it properly. Good morning. So it's the next day. I had to stop painting yesterday because I was losing light and the lamps that I have just weren't enough. And also I noticed that the color, like the tint was showing differently on video than it actually really is. So I also didn't have that much time to continue painting, and I decided to just leave it for the next day when I would have a bit more light. Today I have about less than an hour for painting before I have to leave, and I'll see what I can do with it. But I wanted to show you the stage where I'm at. I noticed yesterday that when I was doing the background, I just wanted to do something loose, but then something that I wanted to try didn't really work because of the paper. So this is a Moleskine. Don't think I have the details. No, I don't have the details anymore. But it's a a Moleskine watercolor block. It's supposed to be fine grain, but it has a bit more of a texture to it that I would like. And I noticed also when I started yesterday wetting the area quite a lot, and then roughing it up like I like to do, the paper started peeling a bit. So this paper does not allow for a lot of work on it, like you can do watercolor, you can do gouache, as long as you don't roughen up the paper. So if you want to do a lot of washes, or you want to remove the color by using, it's clean, by the way, if you were like to scratch with a wet brush to remove some color and then wipe and then try it again, that's not going to work too well on this paper because soon the paper will start peeling. That's also why I had to stop in some areas, and now when I touch it, it's I can sort of feel like little pieces there of paper coming off. The same about here. And then because of that, I didn't do much work on this, and as I was painting this, I also noticed that I was approaching it as it was watercolors, which is what I'm trying not to do. You saw in the video how I was using this little dish, ceramic dish, where I was just putting the colors in and then dissolving them with water and then adding the paint on this. But that's not what I wanted to do with this part. Initially, what I had in mind was, when I was doing my color selections, like when I was choosing which colors to use, when I did this mix of the indigo, the gray and the ochre, I really liked the color. Sort of like a brownish purple, and I wanted it to be as dark as this And then this was just going to be light and maybe with some other colors to break it off. And then the cat, of course, is going to be black and gray. She's going to be painted in blacks and grays. I'll see what can be done today and the little time that I have. Like I said, I don't have much time. So 45 minutes I have for today. So let's get on it. Here I am, trying out color combos for the cat. I finally went with a very dark gray and light blue as well as lavender. I think just using grays might have been too dull. In order to figure out the tones, so light, mid and dark tones, I'm using a black and white version of my reference picture. This way I have a better understanding of where there is light and where there is darkness. First, I use the pastels just like any other, applying them directly onto the paper. Once I've applied most of the colors, I start blending them using a wet brush. I prefer to use one that ends in a fine tip. That way I'll also be able to blend the small details in the painting. Sometimes I'll also use another brush simultaneously, like here, for ease of blending.
Touch each other without instantly creating a vortex of concentrated evil that sucked all of humanity into a gaping maw of eternal darkness. And I have to say, shaking hands with Putin when you may be facing corruption charges bespeaks a much larger problem for FIFA's top brass, because sometimes it seems they honestly may not know how bad their actions look. Take former FIFA Vice President Jeffrey Webb, who just last week faced charges of accepting bribes worth millions of dollars. He pled not guilty.
One of the things that I always tackle last are the eyes or any area that requires a lot of detail. I need to be careful because if I mess them up, the cat won't have the expression that I'm trying to transmit and she might end up looking goofy. Okay, the eyes are done. So now I move on to the rest of the painting, looking for spots that might need more contrast. almost done. But she's missing something. What could it be? Ah, her whiskers, of course. You can't have a cat without her whiskers, come on. I'll use white gouache and an extra fine brush for them. And now we just apply some finishing touches and we're done. I am really happy with how this painting turned out. She really looks like Chibi. So sweet. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helps you on how to use your Neocolors. Now, I'm no expert, and this is just how I use them. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add them below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend. Bye!